Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, James Laney, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson.
What's poppin'?
And my co-host, Ryan Fahey.
I got a random text last night that says, I'd suck a raw fart out of Sarah Cameron's chocolate starfish. You try to read that at a bar, then have process the rest of the night.
I can't process the next 30 seconds of my life.
My problem, exactly. Tried to enjoy. I was in tears. I couldn't. Huh?
Who?
Sarah Cameron. You haven't seen
Outer
Banks,
Banks,
have you?
dude. Outer Banks.
God, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, it's pretty cliche, not gonna lie.
So-
The thing that gets me on that show is that everybody is borderline 27.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
it's
I-
hilarious.
And it's
I
like,
don't-
we can't even drive.
No,
It's
halfway
like-
through the season, her dad yelled at her that she was 16
I'm like,
years
no,
old.
she's not.
And I'm
Fuck
like,
you.
my ass.
There's not a single
16-year-old.
16-year-old that looks like this.
That's 16. Throw me in jail.
These are...
Because the thoughts.
You're lucky she's actually 29.
She's
I don't-
23, actually.
I don't...
Really?
it-
Well,
she's an adult. I just want... But, like... What?
I know.
Okay,
Way
so...
to start the show,
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Sports. The MLB finally did something right, boys. They finally did something right.
Took him long enough.
It took them... When did baseball start? Because that's about when?
Like 300 years ago.
Beginning of time.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much, like in the 1800s.
Field of Dreams game.
It was
Phenomenal game.
First off, they marketed it wonderfully.
Yep.
Secondly, the game they got, I don't want to say lucky, but lucky how well like storybook written it was.
Good. So good.
that was like scripted.
Yeah.
6
like,
runs in the 9th inning.
And the Yankees lost.
Yeah. Perfect. Who doesn't like seeing the
That
Yankees
was
lose?
a fucking brilliant game.
Awesome.
just the way, because we give so little credit to the MLB and the things they can do of that aspect of improving their brand.
Mm.
It was the most watched game over, the last 16 years? Most regular season watched game?
I do got to say this, though. They couldn't have done this on a different day. They were competing with NFL football. They took
preseason football. That's the only thing. And it was...
right, but it was the day the Patriots are playing, which is they basically took away Boston. That's a huge market.
I mean, I don't know. It's also...
No, the numbers are actually there. Like the
I
numbers
believe
were
it.
lower.
I believe
believe
it
it.
because, I mean, I was watching it while I was at the Woo Sox. They had it on the big screen.
Yeah,
And then when I went home, I did watch the Patriots.
yeah.
So I get what you're saying. They probably, if they did it,
that
like,
whole fucking game.
if they could have done it a week earlier, and I know what you're saying, because then
They
would
would have
got
had
more numbers.
They would have had a lot bigger. It was still big regardless, but they would have had bigger numbers. Like the MLB continues
whenever-
to shoot themselves in the foot with stuff like this.
It's whenever whoever came up with it. I'm sure it's just whenever it was like pitched into an idea, and then just like, what did you just say?
The whole thing was great.
Did you just say field of?
And then like
Field
the
of
actual,
Dreams?
you could see the actual like field and like
It
the
was
house.
sick. It
like,
was so
in right
sick.
field.
That was-
cornfield was awesome.
It was awesome how they had all the players like walk out of the cornfield.
It
too.
was so cool.
And they had,
And all-
they had
cool.
Kevin Costner before
Yes.
they throw out the first pitch too. It was perfect.
Is
Yeah.
this heaven?
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
Is this heaven?
No, it's Ohio.
It damn well might be.
No.
Kevin, this is a cornfield. No, just as far as like marketability for that game, genius idea.
Yep.
As far as the way the game went, so for those who didn't see it, it was like 6-3 going into the 9th, I think. Yeah. I forget who gets on. Aaron Judge. So top of the 9th, Aaron Judge hits a 2-run home run. There's been a ton of home runs this game. Hits a 2-run home run. Puts it 6-5 White Sox. Then Giancarlo Stanton, next AB, ties it up
There was
with another home run.
That was a rocket.
Rocket, dude. Hits an absolute missile. Hanging curveball, just sends it. So then Chicago comes up. I forget who gets on again, but then Tim Anderson, probably their best, most like enthusiastic, at least
Literally,
batter. Like
yeah.
the best person to hit this baseball,
Oh,
a country
absolutely.
mile, goes up, hits a 2-run home run to win it. Fireworks light up. He lets go of this bat, dude, and he's hitting him with like the
Dude,
just.
it literally looked like a movie.
It was
literally
insane.
it was literally like scripted.
I would have the amount of money I would have paid to like literally be there for that game would have been astronomical.
Oh,
Now,
they-
do they plan on doing this like every year? Or
They
something?
fucking should.
They should do
because,
something like that, or just do that every year. Have at least one game there.
Well, our whole premise of today's show, actually, because we never actually brought it up, how to fix Major League Baseball. So, like,
What
this,
other steps can they take?
This I think was a genius idea.
It's a
We think this
great
was
start.
phenomenal. But like, what else? Where else do they market? What else
Well, what I kind of want to go into
do they
for
have to improve?
one of the big things for me is the MLB always seems to be focusing on their older crowd, where it's like, that's stupid. Why would you
Yes.
do that? Because they're literally dying off. I think this was a great first step of, because it clearly had to do with our generation, people
Yeah.
in their 20s, maybe 30s, but the younger generation to get involved in baseball again. So if they did more things like that to invest into the youth of their fan base,
You know what it reminds
then
me
that's
of?
going to clearly up what the MLB, like the viewership and money being brought into the MLB.
Or they remind me, as like a company, like as far as like a franchise, they remind me a lot of like Harley Davidson. Because it's like the average Harley like Davidson rider is getting older and older every year because they're pandering to their like older audience kind of. So like back to your point. It's like you have to do something where it's like getting the youth to play baseball, getting like young kids to like get involved, like getting more people to like really watch it. You can speed up the game, you can do this, you can do that, but it's like you really can't change much about the game. The game is the game. So it's like, where do you go from there? I think the big thing is like investing like in the players, like in AA, AAA, like giving them like an actual like livable wage so they don't have to get, a second job and try to play in the MLB, because it's like, dude, you could be one minor. Look at JD Martinez. He went from whatever it was. I think it was like a 260, just kind of hit. It was either strikeout or nuke. Now he's hitting 330. It was like one swing adjustment, and he's an all-star caliber player. A lot of people can be like that. You just don't know because they're, plumbing on the side.
Well, perfect example. Who's the Woo Sox player?
Jeter Downs.
Yeah, Jeter Downs is actually going to electrician school with our buddies. He plays for the Woo Sox.
Yeah.
So it's like, if he got paid a little more and he didn't have to go to electrician school, he could focus on his game.
Yeah, he's batting 181 right now. If he was making a livable wage and didn't have to actually go to a school that is costing him like 40 hours a week, he could maybe work on the fact that it's like, okay, I need to improve this. This needs to change, yada, yada. Like an injection of youth. And I think you should be marketing more of these games. Have home run derbies for AAA. Have like more televised games. Like let these players shine. This is the future of your sport right here.
Or
get people involved. Get people to know them when they're young.
And I mean, with streaming nowadays, it's like you don't even have to be on a major network, because like I get it why some networks don't want to pick up minor league games.
No,
why would
exactly.
you?
Why would you? Yeah, but locally, like I've been noticing locally, a ton of Woo Sox games are getting televised. I'm putting them on at the bar all the time.
Do things like that, especially during what
I
I
think
would
that's
call
a genius step.
What I would call during the slow season of sports, when it's just baseball. Okay, why not get some of the local stuff going? My bigger thing is, why don't they take advantage of social media, getting more highlights out there? Because that's what kids fall in love with. Watching these highlights and just that. Think about how many.
They can't.
Yeah, does the MLB still have that contract?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MLB, this is they like, again, when I said they shoot themselves in the foot, this is exactly what I mean.
This was one of the dumbest decisions
Unless
I've
it's
ever.
them, they cannot. No one else can post highlights. That page House of Highlights with like what they do with the NBA. No one can do that with the MLB. Nobody.
That's a huge problem, because they actually have the talent and youth star players to work with.
Yeah.
I forget what contract or when that was like put into place, but the MLB basically thought that instead of using like Twitter and Facebook and all that to let the free marketing reign, right? Mike Trout makes a phenomenal catch in center field. Instead of letting other people tweet it and post it and do that and like, check this out, promote your players for free pretty much. The MLB was like, no, we're going to post that. And if you want to see other highlights that we have, you have to pay and subscribe. And anybody else who posted is getting sued or demonetized or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. It's just so dumb, because
it's idiotic.
And usually it's like, kids fall in love with these players by watching these highlights, and
that's
you
catering
have Tatis,
to your
you have
older fans. That's not getting any new fans. That's all that's doing is getting the older fans to pay the subscription. So it's like, again, it's Harley Davidson. You're catering to your older audience, and it's only getting older,
which is terrible. It's just that's perfect comparison. The MLB I don't understand why they're clinging on to the older crowd, because like I said, they're literally dying off. And like, that's not to be morbid or anything, but it's just a fact of life that you have to focus on the youth. And I don't think they're using streaming or the highlights. And I know what you're saying, they monetized it. Then they got to get rid of that contract, because that is stupid as hell.
I'd have to look. I don't know.
I don't know full details of it, but
Neither do
like,
I.
it's clearly harder to get these highlights than it is to get NBA, NFL. And you can make you're being penny pinchers at this point with these billionaire owners, where it's just,
bro,
you could make more money by creating and gaining more fans by getting more exposure. Because clearly you're not making a lot of money by, now I don't know exact
they're making
numbers.
plenty of money.
No, I mean just
franchises
through,
are profitable.
just through the highlights.
Yeah.
by people paying for the
But it's
highlights.
free
Clearly,
promotion,
they're
yeah.
making a ton of money.
You can
but
make,
take
yeah,
the
but you
hit
can make
there.
money else. Yeah, exactly. Take the hit there. Take the hit somewhere.
You'll make it up in jersey sales because these kids are going to want to get these jerseys of players, things like that.
Invest in a few. Like, the one thing I think the MLB did recently that was outside of this Field of Dreams game was steer into the Tatis, like, make him the face of baseball, kind
Yeah,
of.
they ran into that heavy, which is good.
Which is what they needed to do.
Kids
He's
electric.
The kid's electric, exactly. He
I
just
didn't-
signed a crazy contract.
I didn't realize he was like our age. I thought this
Yeah.
guy was like.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
he's
he's-
22.
I
He's
thought
younger
he
than
was
me.
like
he's younger than you and I.
I thought he was 26 or something.
No,
he's
dude
younger than
is
us.
dude
And he's
is
a monster.
literally going to be the future of baseball.
You have him for
He-
so
he is-
long.
He is like
You
And,
have
like,
him for so long.
But it's genius, dude. He like that I will say is very smart. Like, he being a Dominican player too, but speaks perfect English. It's like everybody can relate to the guy. Like, he is going to be the face of baseball for a long time, and I think it was smart. Because
Yeah.
it's like Mike Trout, as much as I love him, as much as
He
I think
doesn't
Mike
have
Trout
the
literally
personality.
could be the best player of all time, he's not marketable.
I get why he's way harder to market because he's the guy that's just like, I like playing the game, but I don't. He's kind of like Kawhi Leonard. He's phenomenal at the game,
That's
but,
almost,
but
it's
he
almost
doesn't
perfect
have a
comparison.
personality.
It's not that you can't be famous, but I think the MLB missed their chance to market Mike Trout.
Yeah, Mike Trout's been around for over a decade.
Exactly.
But-
you missed your opportunity.
You did, but also guys like that, it's like you can't force it on them if they don't want it.
No. And
If they literally don't have a personality, and I mean that they don't have it on camera at least.
on camera, I'm sure Mike Trout's like a personable guy or whatever.
Right,
I don't know
but
much.
he doesn't want to be the spotlight. He doesn't like him. Like I said, he's like Kawhi. He's a great player, but no personality on camera.
Nothing wrong with that though.
No, there's not. But it's just when you're talking from a marketing aspect, you're starting to get the youth that has this stuff. Tatis is the perfect example. I know there's the thing with Ohtani and Stephen A. Smith said because he can't speak English.
Fucking
It's
dumbest take I've
stupidest
ever
take
heard
I've
in my
ever
life.
heard. But I do understand where it's just like, yeah, but he's just so talented. Like you can market this guy just because he's the modern day Babe Ruth. You could say he's better. You could say he's better than Babe Ruth. He's literally a modern day Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth played with a bunch of plumbers.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, yeah, see, like that, but just pure talent.
Yeah.
Babe
You
Ruth
have
never,
the
never
guy-
saw CC Sabathia's slider.
No,
He would have
no.
never known.
But this one, like, you have the guys to actually market it. They're just
What?
not taking
Just-
advantage of it. That's it. It just bothers me that the MLB does not know how to market the youth talent that they have, the youth talent that is in this league now.
Well, they don't invest anything into their youth.
Which is like,
Like even their AAA and AA teams. Like I said, they don't. There's nothing invested into it. It's like, bro, you're barely.
Well,
even
they're probably not going to focus on that much.
you could send $5 million to an extra one of these teams for like revenue. Give every player an extra $10K a year, and that's it. So many more hours that
no, but the
player
owners
can
aren't going to do
invest.
that because they're cheap.
Because they're cheap and whatever. You know what I realized too, actually?
What?
Is all the owners are the ones who elected Rob Manfred in the first place.
Yeah, no,
So
that's how.
it was a
that's
So the
business
reason
move.
Rob Manfred is such a dunce is because everything he does, the owners basically have to approve.
Yep.
Because they're not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just never.
I don't like. Well, I'm losing. The more we get into it, like the more we bring up this discussion and like what's wrong with baseball and this, that, the other thing, the more I'm just like, dude, these owners are just greedy fucks,
Yeah.
and it's so annoying because it's like, dude, even as a business owner, dude, like your franchise is getting more valuable every year. Like it is still growing. Doesn't matter. People who think baseball's dying, it's not dying. It's just losing its hold in America as like the sport.
Oh, it hasn't been America's
Overseas-
sport in so long.
Yeah, but overseas, like there's still going to be a market. There's always going to be a market down in like Cuba, the Dominican Republic, like all that. There's always going to be a market for baseball. It is what it is. The sport's not going to go anywhere.
I think the MLB is the only league that in our lifetime we could see get taken over by another league. The only reason I don't think it will is because there's so much money. in it.
Well, that's the thing is like there's still so much money. There's no way. Like I don't see if anybody could ever get to that point.
I'm just saying, I think that's the only sport how badly the MLB is run, that it's the only one that would have a chance to be taken over. I don't, and this is talking decades down the line kind of thing. I don't think it's really going to happen like tomorrow. But there's other leagues that are starting to catch some popularity.
What's that banana one?
That's
Whatever.
but it's
Savannah
not
Bananas.
Fucking love them. You see the
They're
guy?
electric.
You see the caddy walk the dude to the plate the other day?
Yeah.
That was sick.
Well, they won their league too.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
so glad
They
did.
there was another one where this kid had AirPods in and he was connected to the booth.
That's
So they were talking back and forth. This kid goes, "All right, so what's gonna happen is He's gonna roll over. I'm gonna pick it on the second hop, and then Manny Machado throw it over to first base for the out. The next pitch says exactly what happened. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever seen. I don't know what they do. Like one day the first baseman just played an inning shirtless.
I'm all for it.
Completely shirtless.
I'm all for it.
I feel like the MLB doesn't need to go as far as the
not
banana
that, but
league here.
like that's what you need. You need fun.
Especially during the regular
fun.
season. Let these players be themselves.
Perfect example, when the Padres, they had the home run chain.
That's sick.
Things like that. Like, it's the little things like that. Like I'm saying, you don't get. I know it can be like with the caddy, and that can elongate the game and things like that.
I think more players should be mic'd up. I think
yes,
more stuff
mic'd up is huge.
Dude, do you ever see that clip with Freddie Freeman and Anthony Rizzo? I know you have.
Frederick?
Yeah. So,
is it the two outfilders?
No. And so Freddie Freeman gets caught in a rundown.
Really don't know baseball.
He does not know shit.
The two outfielders, they're not even outfielders.
They're both first basemen.
Both first base.
So,
I'm honest. I said I'm not a big baseball
Freddie
guy.
Freeman gets into a rundown between third and second. So Anthony Rizzo's somehow at third, gets the ball, and he's like chasing them down. And so he's holding the ball, and Freddie's running it back to second. And all you hear is Anthony Rizzo go, Frederick! Freddie! And like chasing down, throws it, gets the tag, whatever, starts laughing about it, and then like goes back to the dugout, and he's telling everybody. And like it was just a fun moment between like two like.
You need more of that.
You should mic up almost every single player.
Almost every game.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Dude, especially
you can have these funny clips.
You could ask, especially during the regular season, dude. Like playoff baseball is playoff baseball. It's gonna sell itself. It's phenomenal. It's electric. It's because games mean something. Exactly.
Especially if Amir Garrett's pitching, please mic him up because there's a great chance he's gonna jump into the opposing dugout and then fight everybody.
Yeah,
I love him so much.
They're all like, there's just so many little things the MLB could be doing. They're just like, no, we're gonna keep. This is the only league where you don't have to write rules down, and you can still be penalized for those
literally
rules. And it's like the reason they're not written down
is because they're stupid.
Because they're so fucking dumb.
They're garbage.
They're hot garbage. Because you write them down, you read them, and you're like, wow, that's ass. That is ass.
That was stupid.
So one of the things I liked what they did for last season and this season is the whole runner on second when it's like extra innings.
Yeah, because it immediately puts pressure on.
Right, and then it's also the doubleheader 7 innings, 7-inning doubleheaders.
Yeah,
that I like too. Because what we also got to understand is we've been saying we can't pander to the older crowd anymore. You got to start focusing on the youth. Our attention span is like 30 seconds.
Not even.
Our attention span is so low.
Maybe
it's
like
insane.
6.
So what this does is really speeds up the game.
Yeah.
Now, when I say MLB shoots themselves in the foot, they're getting rid of this rule next year. Manfred has come out and said, we're probably not going to bring that back next year. To which I say, why? Why?
What is his reasoning? Did he come out and say? Of course not.
60 plus didn't like it.
It's exactly probably what it was. Like the minority of the fan bases seem to have like the loudest voices. Yeah. Like the majority of the fan base, I think, is probably around our age, but it's the older crowd.
Older. I really think it's older.
Who really go anymore? The older crowd sits at home and watches. Let's be real.
But that's the thing. The TV money is what drives a lot of the sport.
I know, but they make so much in revenue at the field too.
That's another thing, dude. Free tickets. You make so much.
I heard.
No.
I walked in.
No
Kyle,
way.
You make
Kyle,
so much money.
Kyle, I walked into this conversation and I was like immediately not.
You make so much
First
money.
off,
they're never going to do that. Kyle, they're never going to do that.
Can I finish?
No, they're never going to do that.
No, they never will. I agree. But you make so much money outside of tickets, parking, food at the concessions, jersey sales, TV.
I don't think they even get a part of parking. I don't think they do.
If you park on,
I think Fenway has one actual parking lot.
Either way, it's whatever.
It's like 10 spots.
Who cares?
So, but my thing is, Fenway.
I'm not done.
Fenway is always sold out.
Okay, I'm not done. So first off, The amount of so you take the hit on ticket sales, okay, whatever it is. I mean, sure, you can do some. You can do some.
What you just said? Do you see what you just said?
You take.
They're not taking a hit on ticket sales.
No shit, they're not.
Then why is we having this conversation?
Especially
in stadiums like Fenway that are already selling out.
Homie, can I get through the fucking take?
What's a bad take?
You get the hit on the revenue. This will never happen. I know that these fucking whatever penny pinching owners will never do this. You take the hit on the revenue. You make up the money on like TV deals. You get more people. It's about investing in the youth. So you get more people who can go. You get younger kids who are like, okay. You get more families who can afford to go because it's free and they don't have to buy all these concessions when they're there. So it's like
actually no. Keep the kids out of the ballpark. I can't stand children.
Okay, but those children are the ones that the MLB needs to get involved in baseball.
When they're teenagers, they can join the club.
So here's my thing, though. You're like, just make the money up in TV contracts. They already have the contracts, so now you're just losing money.
Yeah, but they're not negative, though. They're not even close. They're still a profitable organization.
I'm just saying.
But you could take out ticket sales for every team for the rest of the year.
Have you looked up any stats on this?
No.
Have you looked up like how much they make a year through ticket sales?
Doesn't matter. I guarantee you.
You need to see how big of a hit it is. Then again, we also grew up in the Boston area.
I'm gonna take a look at this afterwards, and I'm gonna get back to this on the next show because I honestly don't think it's a horrible take.
It's garbage.
It's not.
Well, and Fenway is already selling out. They sell out almost every game.
Okay.
They're already going to make that money. Why would they give it up? Their stadiums are already being filled. They're not going to make it up with extra concession sales because those seats are filled. They're not going to make it up in extra jersey sales because those seats are filled. They're not going to make it up in extra anything because those seats are filled.
I'm not saying make it up. I'm saying take the hit. Invest in the future is what you're doing.
I don't think that's the way to go.
No.
I really don't.
Plus,
I think investing in minor leagues is good. I think investing in
wouldn't even be that bad. Look at what
small market
the Woo
teams
Sox are doing right now. So the Woo Sox as a stadium to get people to go to the games, they are literally the tickets are dirt cheap right now.
They're a minor league game, though. That's why.
It's a AAA team.
Okay, but it's filled.
It's a AAA team.
It's a minor league,
but it's AAA.
But it's
AAA.
Filled.
But it's AAA.
So was Fenway.
So is.
When was the last time you went to a Fenway game when there wasn't a storm and going, oh, this wasn't filled?
I actually haven't been to Fenway.
Because Fenway's a club now. Like I said, keep the kids out because like I said, keep the children out.
No kids.
I can't stress this enough.
What's 2013?
Let me get my takeout. Listen, there is nothing worse than when you go to the field or an arena and you get to your seat and then you see there's kids around you. Because then you go, damn it, I'm going to need to censor myself. There is nothing worse than of a feeling when you go, I have to restrain myself. I want to yell at the players. If my team's doing bad, I want to yell at them. I was at a Bruins game one day, and when they sucked in 2015, I found Cam Neely in his little booth. I stood up in my section, pointed, and started screaming. Did he hear me? No. That's not the point.
No.
I
loved it. I was belittling this man in front of everybody. I was saying obscenities. But if there was children there, I would have to restrain myself. That's terrible. You let it build up inside. I could have a heart attack.
You sound like the old whites who are like...
You sound like the 60 plus right now.
You sound like the 60 plus right now.
How?
You just sound a whole...
Get them damn kids out of the ballpark.
No. Get them children.
Hey, what do you have, a glove for foul balls?
Also,
put it away!
No, because then the kids are also going to try to start chants. That
You know what I can't stand? The wave. I hate the wave.
I hate the wave.
Come on, guys, everybody! Wow! Do I participate every time? Yes, because I'm not a poor sport.
I don't.
But
I don't. I will sit down. I will sit right
you always
down.
got those two drunk guys.
Like,
no, you always got those 2 to 3 drunk guys that go up to these chicks and they're like, oh, we're going to start the wave. Wouldn't that be so cool? And then they start the wave. The wave literally started.
Like
the wave. And I know, and that's why I still
wave.
participate. I
stand and sit when the wave comes.
I still participate. But my God, just watching it start, it's just the wave starts because guys are hitting on girls every single time.
I also hate
when
we're down.
Pastime.
I also hate when we're down 13 and still do Sweet Caroline. Hate that. That should be a victory cry.
That I'm not a huge.
We're down 13 and it's like, ba ba ba. Are we serious? I'm fuming. Don't you sing in my ear. You're gonna get a fist to the mouth.
This is Faye.
No, not even that. I will just go double freedom birds right to the crowd. How dare you sing right now? We're down 13. Pavetta just gave up 8 again. What are we doing?
It's just it's rolling around. It's just fake. He's like,
this is the passion we need in the MLB.
so good. So good.
No, when we're having a good game and we're winning, Sweet Caroline's going, I got the booze in me, I will be standing up there with the rest of them.
Oh, yeah.
When we're losing, so help me God. If I see any joy, murderous thoughts.
Okay.
Murderous thoughts.
That's Rob Manfred every time he looks at the
Oh! Rob Manfred.
I'm actually, like I said, I'm not pointing my finger as much at him and more so at all the owners.
Oh, it's all of them
it's all
combined.
but he's
it's all
no-
of it.
But he's
good.
the face. So
He's
it's
not-
more
yeah.
like Robert.
No, I think it's clearly the owners
your
are
shit.
involved in this. But Rob Manfred, I mean, you point at Roger Goodell all the time, too. Who do you
Yeah.
think brought him into power?
Yeah, but they're not the
All the
okay.
owners.
Other than the fucking taunting rule that they're put into place this preseason, I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I really
No,
hope
but
that
what I'm
doesn't
saying is
last.
people haven't liked Roger Goodell, but it's like, not. I don't want to make this about the NFL because we're talking about the MLB
But
today.
it's still the owners.
But it's the owners. The owners vote these guys into power. So that's how it goes. So you do have to put some blame on the MLB owners. A lot, actually, I would say.
quite a bit.
Because they're just looking at
That's
their short-term goals of money.
That's another thing, dude. I just had like 4 burps in a row.
Hot.
That's another thing. Can we get a minimum fucking salary? Can we get a salary cap?
Yes!
Can that be an actual?
Oh my
fucking-
God! Because then not minor league.
So do you know how many teams?
small
don't-
market teams would have a chance?
Do you know how many teams
Well, I mean,
don't participate in
you need
free
a
agency right now?
hard cap.
Yes.
Because there's a
Just leave the
there's a
just,
luxury tax,
just turn.
which
Just,
teams will just go into.
teams don't
regardless.
even come close to the luxury tax.
No, but make it like the NFL.
Holy fuck! Teams don't even come close to the luxury tax right now because everyone's like afraid because all these billionaire owners don't want to pay the penalties that come with it. Perfect example: the Red Sox traded away Mookie Betts, a generational talent, because our buddy didn't want to touch the luxury tax 2 years in a row.
Actually,
literally-
I'm still not upset about that.
No, it's still ridiculous because
not.
we have a
I'm upset.
we have a good team right now. Imagine this team with Mookie Betts. Like, I'm sorry, generational talent. Either way, don't. Well, this is a whole different argument. I'm just
MLB.
gonna pretend I didn't see that. If we had a salary cap, it creates it gives teams incentives to actually go out and sign a lot of people. Like the Athletics, they don't ever sign anybody because they don't want to get close to the luxury tax. They don't want to pay anybody. There was a whole Astros team a couple years ago that literally had an entire roster fielded for 1 year of Paul Goldschmidt. It was the same equivalency. Everybody on that team was making almost about the same as 1 year of Paul Goldschmidt's contract. They were horrible, but it was a profitable season. If you add a salary cap, and especially a minimum, and you just change the luxury to a salary cap, and then you add a hard cap behind it, basically do what either the NBA or the NFL is doing.
I would
You're
want
going to
NFL.
Either way,
I don't know. I don't
something.
think
You're
I don't
gonna.
think they'd do that just because
They're not gonna do any of this
No,
shit.
that would screw the players out of so much money.
How?
It would,
How?
because
Well-
then you can't give those superstars that money.
Yes, you can. You just have to budget it better. You just have to save caps.
Well, then
just
that
like
screws
just
the
like
rest. That screws the lower guys.
I think they
no,
would,
it doesn't.
Yeah,
I think they would have to
Yes.
do it in a way so Mike Trout, these guys that have huge contracts, that if they go over, they have to be grandfathered in or something in a way.
Well, no,
because
you,
I understand
you can
right
start,
off the
you
rip.
can start. So that right now they have it with MLB. So in order to get a contract, you have they have arbitration years, which I'm not going to get into
well, no,
because
no, I know
it's
about
kind
those.
of it's very hard to explain.
No, I actually know those.
But if they start MLB service years a little earlier, or if they start the moment you come up or whatever it is, if they change those dates, move a little bit around with arbitration, you can make this work. You can make the money work, and it's not going to screw anybody over, especially the younger guys, because if let's be honest, if you're already doing the salary cap, you're probably paying minor leaguers more money as is because you're making a lot of changes, money's moving. So you do that, it's not going to screw generational players over because those players aren't going to fall through the cracks. You get those players. So now baseball's better because those players, you have a better farm system, which in turn makes better players, which in turn boost baseball. And it's I don't know, it's not a difficult thing. Just getting, all you're doing is moving money around into different places. And especially a minimum, forcing teams to pay certain guys. People are going to, think of it this way too. In the MLB, or not MLB, NBA, where you have like Dennis Schroeder, right? He wanted $82 million, didn't get it. Now he's chasing $6 million with the Celtics. It's like you're going to get contracts like that. You're going to get things like that happening. Free agency becomes a much like hotter commodity in
it's
the
an
MLB.
even playing field once
Exactly.
you have a
That's
cap.
all you're doing is raising the playing field.
That's
so
why I've
instead of
always-
the Yankees and the Athletics, now it's the Yankees and the Athletics. Like
That-
it's still a gap, but it's
Well,
not
it's because
nearly
you got
as
the
big.
brand. The brand alone is a big
course.
thing.
Yeah.
In location, there's no
You're not
debating
you're
that.
not going to be able to change that, but
But I know what you mean.
changes
It
the playing
brings-
field from this to this. Like it's
I remember watching a video years ago because I didn't understand the point of the like no salary cap, and the guy was like, "Oh, well, small market teams would be able to pay more." I was like, "That's not correct." I'm
It's
like,
not even
I was like,
close.
"This is the worst video I've ever seen." I'm like, just from a basic business standpoint, why would LA not have as much money as Milwaukee?
because they still
What?
cause those teams still have to
What?
budget. Those teams still have to be profitable, even if they're bad teams. That's why
Well, yeah, it's
that's
a
why that
business.
Astros team, who was making less than Paul Goldschmidt for a year combined, that's why they did that, because they still wanted. They were a bad team, but they were still profitable. You raise the salary cap, you do this, that, the other thing. Now these owners have to pay up anyways, but they're not going to be like that. But like it's going to be more competitive baseball, so it's going to be like now you really have to like think. Now you actually have to like. You can't just be a middle of the pack team that's making money every year, but you ain't winning shit. Now you actually have to compete.
I've always thought that. Imagine like being a fan of a small market team. It's gonna be awful.
It sucks.
The biggest
It's gotta
team.
be terrible.
They always say, imagine being.
Well, especially in baseball, like at least in like NBA and NFL, like your team has a chance. Like you know what I mean? Like your team can just because you're a small market team doesn't mean you can't improve through the draft. It doesn't mean you can't get one or two big free agent signings. But in baseball, that's like almost unheard of.
The one thing I wish the MLB would do, and I know it's never going to happen because money, logistics-wise, it cannot work, if they cut the season in half. 162 games is too many in my mind. I understand from a logistics business standpoint, you can't take away half the season. First off, now ticket prices have to double. That alone, they have to double.
No free tickets. You cut the games in half. That's for damn sure.
Well, no, it's not going to happen anyway. But I
None of
understand
this
that
is
from
gonna happen.
because think about that concessions are going to go up because now like it.
Everything
I understand
goes
from
up.
a business standpoint why that's never going to happen, but it would literally double the meaning of every game.
Yeah.
Why do you think every Sunday people are watching football? It's because there's only now there's only 17. There's only 17 regular season games. Basically every game matters. The MLB, you can lose freaking 20 games, and it's like, wow, you had an electric first off.
The Red Sox have been a horrible team this last month, and we still have a chance to make playoff baseball. So it's like
the games just don't mean as much, and that's why playoff baseball is better, like you said before, because the
playoff
games
baseball
have
sells itself. You don't
because
need to, you don't need to
those
do
games
anything
have
with it.
meaning.
Exactly.
That's self-explanatory.
It's the same thing with playoff hockey. Those games sell themselves. You
It's
don't-
because it's either win or go home kind of thing. It's
Exactly.
like, ooh, that's
That's why everybody loves the Little League World Series so much, because all those kids are there's no money, there's no nothing. Those kids literally, it's like who wants it more. That's why it's like that sells, and that's why that's televised every year. And actually, this year's pretty freaking electric so far.
Mm-hmm.
There was I've already seen like what 2 walk-offs.
I haven't watched
Or
any of it, to
something.
be
I've
honest.
seen a lot. Yeah.
I've been on at the bar like all week. It's been freaking I don't know. Glad it's back.
But yeah, the MLB should try to do something with that. They're like, how involved are they with the Little League World Series? I could be blatantly.
No, I think they like. I feel like they're pretty involved. To be
Are they
honest.
If I
okay?
was-
And maybe they are, and I don't know enough about
Yeah.
it. And I'm not saying pay these kids. That would be that
No,
doesn't
that's-
even make
that's-
sense.
No, but like
no.
set up
That'd be-
leagues, like set up different like programs. Like the MLB should only their main focus should be so much on getting younger
youth.
kids to play baseball. That's all they should care about. Because you get kids to play baseball, they'll fall in love with the sport anyways. Because honestly, it's a great sport. As far as like watching, I mean, I get why people think it's slow and people think this, that, or the other thing, but like I had the attention span of a fucking packing peanut, and playing baseball was like one of the best things ever for me. That was like one of my favorite things. Probably still is one of my favorite things to do. So it's like
I've never been a big baseball guy, but the baseball as itself is not the problem.
no,
It's the MLB.
the sport sells itself.
They mismarket and manage it.
Yeah.
I think our big takeaway is
And I like what they're doing as far as like speeding up so far, giving it a little bit of a pitch clock. It's like I get it. Don't take 2 minutes on the fucking mound. Don't take 2 minutes outside of the batter's box. Get in there, do your thing, get ready. You guys are pros.
they're
Like,
starting to move a little forward. They're starting to move the needle, but
Another-
there's a lot of steps to go.
another thing too that I briefly want to touch up on is we need to get rid of the like 3 outcomes of baseball right now. It's either a home run, walk, or a strikeout. Like,
Yeah.
stop juicing the fucking balls. Let's get more balls in play. Like,
I don't think they're juiced anymore.
are you shitting me?
I don't think they're juiced.
Are you fucking me?
They're
They've been
not.
juiced since 2015.
No, they haven't. No.
Bull.
No, because they're not juiced this year.
How?
Because they're not.
There's no way.
They're not.
Everybody's hitting.
Yeah,
Hold on.
it's a different time.
There's no
It's
way.
do you see the size of these people?
There are
Perfect
three.
example,
There
Aaron
are
Judge.
3 outcomes in baseball right
Dude.
now.
Dude, Joey Gallo is 6'3" in the outfield and is the shortest outfielder they
Yeah,
have.
Joey Gallo is the epitome of what baseball's turning into
That's
right now.
my whole point. Like this is the league now.
And it's ass.
Regardless of the juice.
But
balls.
what are you going to try to make the balls harder to hit?
Yes. So you stop juicing the balls, so it's like more balls.
Do you
in
know
the
for a
ballpark.
fact that they're still juicing though?
Let's be honest.
There's
still
no
juicing.
because they said they're
You
not.
have to know for a
They
fact that
basically
they're still juicing.
admitted that they were juicing the balls a few years ago. And now they said they weren't doing it.
You really
anymore.
gonna believe him?
Yeah,
I don't.
I do.
There's
Because people were hitting home runs anyway.
Let me look up the home run leaders right now.
I'm just saying you can't.
It's Ohtani with like 39.
Man, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
The top guys in a home run chase are legit like sluggers.
I will say Ohtani is so good.
It's Ohtani and Guerrero.
like I said, they have the guys. Just
Yeah.
market them. Thanks for joining us at Sports on Tap today. If you like what we're doing, we do have a merch store down in the link. Down in the description in the link below.
We buy a merch, please.
That
Either
was
way, please
not-
like, share, comment, and follow.